Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla, and today we will be discussing the infamous and the dreaded quarter-life crisis. Now, the quarter-life crisis is something that everyone goes through. However, it is also something that is not always talked about, at least not in the real sense of we are really struggling out here. Mid 20 something year olds are struggling mentally, emotionally, maybe even financially. But that's not something we really talk about. So, what is the quarter life crisis? It's basically a time in your life when you're kind of feeling behind, feeling like maybe you're not doing enough for your peers, your family, the world, the internet. I could go on. The quarter life crisis is something that a lot of people go through, I think, silently. It's not something that is often talked about. It's quite traumatic, okay? As someone who went through the quarter life crisis and still low key going through quarter life crisis, that's why I cut off all my hair. But it's something that is confusing, to be quite honest. There's not a lot of people that give you a warning about it. It's more so not talked about. But I will say, I recently discovered this song on YouTube called Quarterlife Crisis, and I thought that was so funny that someone wrote a song. I will put the video thumbnail right here and also the link in the description box below. But the song just speaks to my soul. She really eloquently breaks down what a quarter life crisis is. So when you have a chance, feel free to go down below and please give a listen to that song. It is well said, well put, beautifully sung. 10 out of 10. But back to what the quarter life crisis is. So the quarter life crisis is this phenomenon that basically you feel as if you are not doing enough. There's burnout involved with that. Also imposter syndrome. And a lot of, I feel like older people may be confused about the imposter syndrome part, maybe, and also the burnout part, mainly because of the fact my cat is acting weird. So I feel like the introduction of social media to our generation, it feels as if we are always at each other's necks or competing with one another. Who's happier? Who's making more money? Who's doing more? And with that, I feel like the younger generation, 13-year-olds, 14, 15, 16, are always looking to do more at their young age. I feel like when I was 13, and I'm 26 right now, by the way, but I feel like when I was 13, 14, I wasn't like, we had social media when I was 13, 14, but I don't think it was as big as it is now. I think I was a teenager or growing into my adolescence or out of my adolescence when it was starting to blossom, bloom, influencer starting to become a thing, but it wasn't like in my face. I feel like now for teenagers, it's in their face. And so they see people with their money, they see people with the fancy cars, they're buying clothes, the hauls, all of these TikToks. I didn't see that. So it wasn't like I was competing with a stranger. It was more so maybe competing with my peers subconsciously. And I wasn't really caring about people online, I don't think. I could be wrong though. Looking back, I don't think I really was. Now, I would definitely say, I'm not going to say I compete, but I see where people are at 26 years old or around my age, maybe even like 20 years old, doing big things, buying houses, buying cars, fulfilling dreams. And I'm looking like, dang, I'm 26. What am I doing? I'm going to break down in the next few minutes of this video how I feel we can go through quarter life crisis, because it is something that I don't think can be avoided, to be honest. But I do think there are things that we can do with ourselves, for ourselves, that can help us get through it. So I'm going to break down how I think we can get through this whole imposter syndrome, burnout, aka quarter life crisis, together. Because I'm in the second phase of it. I know there may not be phases, but I think there's phases. So let's break it down. First, line up defense. I think it's important to talk to someone. There's people that don't like to talk about their feelings. I get it. I'm one of those people. I am quite avoidant and I like to keep stuff to myself. But it is important to talk to people. And if you do not want to talk to people, write it down. I am a huge fan of journaling. I do it often. I don't do it every day, but I do it often, specifically when I'm upset. I write about it instead of cussing that person out. I don't cuss, but you know what I mean. Yes, definitely talking about it or writing about it. Writing about how you're feeling. Don't ignore your feelings. I think it's important, and I've been told this by my therapist. It's important to make sure you feel those feelings and understand why you're feeling this way. If you're mad, allow yourself to be mad. If you're sad, allow yourself to be sad. If you're disappointed, feeling burnt out, whatever the case may be, allow yourself to feel those feelings, but then don't let yourself dwell in those feelings. So, for example, if you're mad about something or you're feeling a little anxious, allow yourself to feel anxious and then ask yourself, why am I anxious? Is it because something at work isn't going as I thought? Is it because I have something big coming up and I'm just a little bit nervous about it? Allow yourself to feel those feelings and then write it out or talk to someone, whether that's a friend, a genuine friend, or maybe your man, your girl, whoever that is. Talk to that person, your therapist, talk to them. If you don't have that, or if you don't want to do that, write it out. Write it out. Let it flow on a piece of paper. And if it's something that you just want to get rid of, write it out. Whatever you can't control, you can write that as well. But whatever you can't control, put it on the same piece of paper, tear it half. What you can't control, throw away. Write it after you write what you can't control on that side of the paper, throw it away. The thing a lot of people do is we dwell on the things and hold on to the things that we cannot control. I can't control the way people act, but I can control my reaction. That's an example. So that would be my first tip on your line of defense with quarter life crisis. All right. The next thing you should do is make a plan. So, what does that look like? What do you want to do? What are your interests? How do you want to utilize these interests to maybe make a living for yourself? Now, it's okay if you do not know the answers to these questions now. That is normal. That is something that a lot of people in their 20s and even in their 30s are going through. There's a lot of career changes that happen, and we saw that in 2020 when everything happened. But 2020 was a year of people understanding and realizing what they actually want to do. I'm not going to say I went through that because I kind of didn't, because I always knew I wanted to do marketing. A lot of people changed careers because they were like, dang, I'm in this job and I don't even like it. And I'm stuck, or I feel stuck. But then you get out of it. But yeah, definitely make a plan or strategies that can help you navigate what you want to do with your life. I think that could really help you with imposter syndrome. Also, get into hobbies as well. If you enjoy art, do something with that. At least expose yourself more to that. Don't just go day to day and not visiting an art museum when you know you like looking at art. But yeah, that's number 2. The third thing I would say is do not compare yourself to other people. And another sub point would be limit the amount of time you spend on social media. This is something I'm currently going through, actually. I would say a few months ago, I would say like this summer to like September, I was spending so much time on social media. Like it didn't make sense how much time I was spending on social media. I want to say I was spending like 8 hours a day on just Instagram, maybe. If I could find any screenshots or evidence of this, I'll put it up. But it was terrifying. Like I was like, why am I spending all this time on social media? And then I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough. And then this imposter syndrome is sneaking up on me. And I feel bad about myself. Like I don't feel good at all. And I was wondering about that. But it was because of my use of social media. Maybe like 2 months ago, approximately, I took a huge break. Well, I'm being exaggerating. I took a 1 month break off of social media, and it taught me a lot. It taught me that honestly I don't care about social media. I work on there, so I kind of had to be on there sometimes because I manage social media pages. But just being off of my personal social media page, not seeing updates on people, seeing the people that I kind of, I guess, look up to all the time, and just also strangers that I don't know, it benefited me in a way where I was just more so looking at myself instead of looking at myself and then comparing myself to Suzanne over here. Like, I don't know you, Suzanne. She has a whole other story. I don't know her. Why am I comparing myself to her? It wasn't clicking, it wasn't making sense, but it was the source of my imposter syndrome. I really felt like where I was inadequate, like I was just not doing what I should be doing. And it was a hard pill to swallow. And with the imposter syndrome, I just wanted to do a bunch of things that didn't make sense, buying things. I noticed when I'm not in the best mind state, I spend unwisely. And I'm a wise spender. Like, I'm very frugal. But when I start to just buy things just because, it's to fill a void. I noticed I was doing that, and I had to nip that in the butt real quick because my bank statements was looking stupid. No, but for real, I had to stop because it was embarrassing. I noticed that I try to fill a void when I'm feeling, I guess, insecure about myself. And so I decided to end that and make sure that I look within myself. And that's when I started back journaling, making sure I would just like reflect more. Reflection is just literally looking at what I'm doing, kind of having those talks with myself and also talks with God, and just asking for more direction and discernment, and just to guide me on what I really need to be doing instead of just sitting and moping and dwelling on my problems. It's not cute. Kayla, get it together. Like, literally, just having talks like that. Like, what are you doing, girl? Stop it. Stop it. This is something that, like I said, I'm currently going through it. I think quarter life crisis can be extended. I don't think there's an exact age. Like, I don't think when you're 25, it hits you like a brick wall. I don't think that's how the quarter life crisis works. I think it can happen anywhere in your mid 20s. It definitely, I felt it, like I said, 2021, I felt it definitely, but 2022, it kind of came and went in waves of me feeling insecure about myself and the imposter syndrome, burnout, etc. I really wanted to create content, but I felt like I didn't have the capacity to create content, and I'm trying to get out of that. This video is me trying to get out of that. So yay, me. That's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to offer solutions on getting past the quarter life crisis, and what I've noticed, and also what I'm currently noticing. I would love to do another video on this, actually, if it's of interest. If it's not, I'm talking to myself about it. But if it is, I would love to bring it up again in a video and kind of like have a conversation in the comments. This is very interesting and enlightening. Feel free to subscribe. Also, like this video. Hit that bell notification. Also, we're going to talk about what you do or what you did to get through your quarter life crisis, and if there was anything that you think I missed in terms of solutions. Because I think, first of all, I don't know everything. So if you know any tips or tricks or things that you did to just combat the feeling of insecurities at this age, at this trying age, feel free to leave those comments and add to the conversation down below. And I will also meet you there down below. And I'm looking forward to these conversations. I'm also looking forward to creating new videos. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Until next time, it's your girl Kayla, aka Miss Delusional. And yeah, peace. Every day,